What is up, everybody? We are live with this week's Cop the Week show. I don't want to make anybody teary before we start, but just a reminder, this will be the only time this week that Mr. Paddy Murphy, Mr. Craig Anthony James, Zachary Houlden, and Mr. Chris Stonadge will all be live together.
Is that your middle? Is that your name?
My first name is Craig Anthony.
That's mad. I've never heard someone with so many names.
Well, you've got your confirmation name in there. So Zachary was my confirmation name after Zach from Saved by the Bell.
I went born with my name.
What's the confirmation name?
John or something, is it?
No, it's Patrick, Kevin, John. Kevin's after my dead brother. John's after my dead dad. So, you know, dead relatives FC over here.
Yeah, I can see a theme there, Paddy.
Yeah.
Do you know what? James after my dad.
Too, so all those names will be dead one day. Happy Monday.
I mean, Paddy, I can't, you know, I don't know what you went through with your bro, but Jesus, yeah, my family is a list of deaths as well, man. It's tough, but thankfully we've got Chris here to cheer us up.
My middle name's Owen after Michael Owen, so I've not got any sort of deaths over there apart from death.
Funny one actually. That's it. I was we had a guest on, and his name is Graham O'Toole. He's an Irish radio presenter. So his name is he was born with the middle name Michael, and he loved Michael Owen so much. His confirmation name is Owen. So his full name is Graham Michael Owen O'Toole.
He is a tool, to be fair.
Yeah.
That's, I mean, each to their own. Look, before we get stuck into all the news and stuff, shout out to our sponsor, Surfshark. Don't forget you can get 83% off and 3 months additional free with the best VPN provider out there on the market. We're going to make a video to show you just how easy it is to use Surfshark as well. The most secure VPN protocols, uncrackable encryption, and most importantly, a great way to find your way around these stupid rules of content, you know, that can and can't be licensed in different regions of the world. So as I said, link in the description below. Thank you to Surfshark. Right, Chris, I've got Paddy's opinion after the game yesterday, but I haven't had a chance to speak to you. So how did you find the team selection? How did you find the game going? And here, you're going to like this as well. How good were the officials?
Well, team selection, I thought I was a little bit nervous seeing Diogo Jota on the team sheet. To be honest, I was very surprised seeing him on there, but it was vindicated. However much, you know, I've heard some people don't agree with that. He scored a goal in the biggest game in the Premier League by a mile, so therefore, in my opinion, he's vindicated. In terms of the game, I didn't enjoy it whatsoever. I was necking Guinnesses, trying to get through it. And then, you know, I actually thought the officials were quite good. Apart from the first half, I thought Anthony Taylor was very, I don't know, easy to give fouls to City and not the other way. And the corner in the second half that was not a corner, the corner that never was. But apart from that, actually, the Mancunian officials did very, very well.
I tell you why. The only reason I'm saying they did well is basically for the offside decision for Sterling. I was fully sure, even when I'd seen it, that Paul Tierney would find a way. But in fairness, right decision.
Even throughout the game, though, I thought they were quite good. To be fair, they managed the game well. They gave what they meant to, what they should have given, and they let go what they should have let go. They let the game flow well. So overall, I think they had quite a good performance. And I know not a lot of people will say that, but yeah, it wasn't an enjoyable game to watch. I'll say that.
No, it wasn't. And look, all I asked for all week was that it was resolved at the pitch, and it was. And, you know, Paddy, Craig giveth, mate, and Craig about to take it away again. Have you seen the officials for the United game?
Yeah. Well, you know, and to be fair, you know, people gave me shit saying, oh, you're only saying that because you're worried about City. You won't say that in the game you're going to win. And we're going to spank United. But it's like, yeah, Paul Tierney is just someone we don't like, but I suppose we can't just piss and moan about it. We just have to accept it. You know, it is what it is. You know, at least he's not another mank as the wait. Who's the referee? He's not. Yeah, it's not what?
Atkinson.
Oh, listen again. It's United. We're gonna spank them about 4-0. It's fine.
The worst case scenario is we spank them 4-1. Atkinson gives them something when we beat them 4-1. Worst case scenario.
Liam keeps asking what's my t-shirt. It says it's Jurgen Klopp, but it says as you wear.
Like, Connor be looking at that t-shirt thinking, hang on a minute there, that's Liam Gallagher sign off.
They're taking the piss of Liam Gallagher because he's a City fan. And you know, as you were, JK.
We love it. Anyway. Look, I've had a chance to digest that game and watch it back after last night. And I tell you what, lads, I got to go on a bit of a positive rant for a minute. I said this earlier on as well. we as fans dream about these days, dream about where we are right now. So, like, it was a great piece in The Athletic about a title race, and do fans actually enjoy it? And we probably don't take the time to actually enjoy the heat of battle and where we are right now, because we've been where United are. We've been where Spurs are pushing for a fourth, and we've been where we were last year. But right now, League Cup, check. FA Cup semi-final still to come. Premier League title race, absolutely alive, and I'll go into that in a second. And the Champions League basically in a semi-final with a fairly good chance of making it all the way to Paris. Now, for those who think that the title race is over because City are just going to go and win the last 7 games, didn't win the 7 previous games, we have. My point is, you could look at those fixtures and say Liverpool have the harder games. Fair enough. But Manchester City, I would say, are the most likely to drop a clanger against somebody, like a Crystal Palace as an example. So I genuinely think there are some twists and turns to go. And as fans, enjoy it. Take a moment out to appreciate what we're seeing, what we're getting to see, and that we have a title race, because our boys, Chris, have worked really hard to make sure that there is a title race, to claw back that lead. I love it. And I'm all set for it. I'm not giving up on it now. I gave up on it before, but I'm not giving up on it now.
I don't think you can give up on anything when you're 1 point behind with 7 games to go. There's 21 points to play for here. It is by far from over. I understand the prowess of Manchester City. And I understand why fans think, oh, it's over now because they'll go and win all 7 games. But it's football. And as Jurgen Klopp always says, anyone can beat anyone. And on an 11-11 side game of football, it can happen. There's always chances. So you'd be foolish to write them off. But I think you'd also be foolish to say that Man City are definitely going to drop points, because that might not happen. If any team in the world to go win 7 games in a row, I'd probably choose them. So look, I understand the caution, but I also think we've got to take a step back and think, like, look, we are still on for 4 trophies this season. It's still there.
See, all week, Paddy, I said the same thing, and I think you agreed with me on it. Maybe I might be wrong, but it was a must-not-lose game for us yesterday. And to show the courage they did to come back twice, much like the league title race, we're always in that game yesterday playing catch-up. And we just about got there. We got the points. And you know what? I think back, Paddy, to us speaking as Liverpool fans about the millimetres of the game against City previously, between the ball going over the line and not. This could be their turn to look back at those millimetres of that Raheem Sterling moment yesterday and think, if only, when this season comes to an end, if only that goal had stood, maybe. So I like to think there's omens in this.
Yeah, I mean, it's possible. The one thing I didn't like yesterday was the comparison of the Riyad Mahrez chance and the Ousmane Dembele one at Barcelona. Because I was like, oh yeah, I can't wait till we beat Man City in the return leg. Like, there's no comparison in that, I don't think. It was a must not lose game.
Never been 3-0 down, Paddy, at the new camp in that game. Our performance did not warrant.
Oh, I know, but I thought it was a lazy comparison because of where it was on the pitch. But in reality, there's no really similarities in terms of the practicality of it. But listen, I find it hard to be positive. And listen, it's not. I'm not looking at. I'm just looking at. It's just the missed chance. It would have been so nice to be outright on our own and not have to go back to the relying on City to fucking draw, and it just gets tiring. It is what it is. I thought we were pathetic in the first half, absolutely pathetic. Some really, really bad performances there. I thought the team selection was wrong. Diaz not starting is criminal, and I'm sorry, it is. There was no way he should have been benched. And I campaigned for Keita to be started, and I think I was vindicated because I thought Henderson was okay, maybe defensively, but going forward, he was embarrassing.
Me too, by the way, all week. I said Keita in the build-up, and I stand over it.
I'm sick of this shit about Henderson. Like, people say, you're so disrespectful to the captain. It's like, just because he's the captain doesn't mean he can hold us to fucking ransom. He's not good enough anymore. He needs to be relegated to the James Milner role, and that's the end of it. Naby Keita is a better option right now, and Klopp bottled it. Klopp bottled it not playing Keita. He went too safe, and we showed too much respect to City. And as Craig said before we came on, you need to. What did you say? What was the quote?
Oh yeah. So I had a lovely analogy yesterday, and people reminded me too much of the same analogy. I will give you a Ric Flair one today. To be the man, you've got to beat the man.
Yeah, and starting Henderson is initially a signal of we're looking to play it a bit safe here because he's a good calming influence, but going forward, man, some of the shit he was doing. He tried to put a ball into the box and it went out for a goal kick. I was like, what are you doing? I love the man. I love his service, but his time as a Liverpool Football Club starter is over unless those starts come in the Carabao Cup.
I think, Chris, that there's different horses for different courses. And I think Hendo still has a part to play in specific styles of games against specific types of opponent. But let's look at what Jordan Henderson has been to us, the legs of our midfield for the longest time. And those legs have slowed down. Even 5-10% will slow down. So I agree with what Paddy was saying to some extent in that I wanted us to try and take it to City a bit. And that was my thinking behind Naby Keita. And I hope that in an even more, again, that has to be resolved. I hope that we see Naby Keita at Wembley against Manchester City on Saturday. But yeah, I kind of felt like Klopp was going to go safe as well yesterday. And I feel like that selection was a safe selection.
I think the word pathetic was a bit harsh. And I don't think
you know me, Chris. I like to go to over sensational. You know me. I like to go. Yeah,
it's not a good show for Paddy unless he receives a death threat by the end of it.
And I also don't think Jordan Henderson was our worst midfielder yesterday, by a stretch. I thought Fabinho was far worse.
Yeah, he wasn't great.
In my opinion, I understand. Look, Fabinho has been incredible this season. I don't think Jordan Henderson's had a bad season, and I think a lot of people are overseen, and this fan base is overseen in finding a scapegoat. And at this moment in time, that is Jordan Henderson. He's still got a massive part to play, and as Craig said, horses for courses are very important. Was Jordan Henderson the right one for that course yesterday? I think it sort of seemed now, and I agree with you guys now that he probably wasn't. Is
he gone? Oh, for fuck's sake!
Oh, am I back?
You're back, yeah.
Is it my Wi-Fi, man? My Wi-Fi is so bad.
That's the Hendo propaganda team trying to stop you coming to the dark side.
No, sorry, it's my home Wi-Fi is awful. I don't think Hendo was the right horse for that course yesterday, looking at it now. But beforehand, I can see why Jurgen Klopp thought that. And I can see why they selected him. Because obviously that cover was needed and that leadership was needed in such a big game. On Saturday, I'd love to see Naby Keita.
On this, I would have said the same all week, but City bypassed their midfield yesterday. So watching the game back and hearing some good analysis actually on Match of the Day 2 and a few other places, it was very clear that City were given too much space in defence, that we didn't press enough, which I kind of think leads into what Paddy was saying in the build-up as well, that it was a game that would have suited Bobby Firmino because against City, we persisted with the high line, which we will do. I think we should do. We play it very well. But again, in the analysis of the game, it showed that there were some times where we weren't pressing as we should have, whether it be from tiredness or just, I don't know, a tactical change. But it was giving City a chance to get ahead up and play those balls in behind, Paddy.
Yeah, listen, if you let me choose the team yesterday, we would have won that game, right? Sadio Mane through the middle, Luis Diaz off the left, Hendo out, Keita in, and we win that game. And we just do. That is our best team for the Etihad specifically. Now, Chris is gonna. I was having a bit of a rant about Diogo Jota, but let me clarify. I love Diogo Jota, absolute clinical finisher, great goal scorer. His position is fantastic. But against a team like Man City, you're not like, you know what I mean. We're not going to dominate possession like we usually do. And apart from the goal, I thought Jota was horrific. His passing, decision-making, horrific. And against a team like City, you get punished for that. And a Bobby Firmino-esque is what we needed yesterday. I love Jota.
Bobby Firmino scored that goal, though.
His technical ability is...
I would have saved that goal. Let's put that out there. Alisson saves that every day of the week. It was
Bobby Firmino in that position.
No, that I'll give you 100%. I think that's the part we all agree on, that he has a great knack of getting into those positions.
But I seen an analogy on Twitter. Starting Diogo Jota in a massive game is a gamble. You're gambling on him to get his goal. But his overall around play, he better not start. And people are going to say, "Oh, this is so disgraceful. He scored too many goals." I know that, and he's great, and But against a team like City, in the biggest game of the season, he wasn't the right man because we all know what his passing's like. His touch can be abysmal. The ball kind of bounces off him. He doesn't hold up on the ball. The amount of times we gave the ball back to City after just winning it back was disgusting, and he was a key culprit a lot of times.
on this one before we come to Chris. Jason reckons that Salah will score 93rd minute last day of the season, just like Aguero, to win it. So this kind of plays to my point about appreciating the title race and where we are. Because some people go, I hate the stress of it now, but imagine if anything like that comes to fruition. So it's a last game, a second last game. Just imagine the release of endorphins and happiness and just joy that we'll get if that happens. And look, we've already been through the minimalistic loss of a league title from the finest of margins. Been there, done it, bought the t-shirt, but we haven't had this contested close. Like, look at the Barcelona reaction. You know, if you draw with Barcelona and beat them 2-1 at Anfield, let's say, good, but it'll never compare to that 4-0 where we rose from the dead. So that's why I'm loving this title race so much, Chris.
I'll take it anyway, to be honest, mate. I don't really care as long as we win that title, and it's still very much on. But if it did happen in that way, obviously it would be a moment that would be replayed for decades and decades onwards. And it's still very much possible to do that. You know, there's still only 1 point in it. And I still think it will be all to play for on the final day, because these two teams have got the capability to stay neck and neck until then.
I think our only, like, listen, I'm pessimistic Paddy today, but I think our only hope of a Villa miracle on the final day is if they get sucked back into the relegation battle, and I kind of hope they do, because I hope they have something
Wolves
to play
will be
for.
the tricky game. I think Wolves will be the one that gives City a headache.
I think no matter what happens, the title will still be up for grabs on the final day. Whether City are only need I think it'll still be in contention on the final day, just given how many games, If I think we could drop points, but I don't think City may drop points in 1 or 2 games. But I think no matter what, it'll still be active. But I've kind of just the idea, the Gerrard, Coutinho shit. I've kind of been like, Villa are gonna lose about 6-0. Like, they are shit, and they're gonna have.
This isn't the fucker, Chris, who's been hyping this Coutinho goal for weeks. He's the only one who brought it up.
I know. I've stopped dreaming about Villa doing anything.
He's turning into me now. I was pessimistic for a few weeks, and then Paddy got me back on board to train, and now I'm all hyped, and Paddy's trying to go the opposite direction. Let's switch it up a bit. So a lot of our fans were very impressed with a certain Darwin NUNEZ when we played against Beenfica. His work rate. I want to ask the chat, would you like Liverpool to sign Darwin NUNEZ? Now, there's a book coming, so I'll let the chat answer a little bit, but yeah, if you are one of those fans that would like Liverpool to go out and try and sign Darwin NUNEZ, I hope you have £113 million tucked away, because apparently that's the price tag, Paddy. 113 million quid.
Yeah, listen. First of all, Darwin NUNEZ, fantastic player, great goal scorer. His hat-trick at the weekend against Belenenses, or whatever the fuck they're called, was phenomenal. His finishing's great. Uruguay have done it again, produced another top striker, and like the likes of Forlan, Cavani, Suarez. Yeah, for that sort of money, it's a bit silly. He is a great young prospect. He has a lot of work to do. His technical ability isn't on the level of a Suarez. But he's a gunman. His finishing's great. He's a lot of maturing to do as a footballer. But I don't think anyone in the right mind's touching him for £113 million. By the way.
Yeah, that sounds like a Man City price to me, Chris.
I mean, I'm struggling. I can probably think of maybe 4 footballers in the world who would go for that amount. Like, why would NUNEZ go for that? Mbappe, Haaland, Bellingham, maybe. I can't really think of any
Salah
others.
with a better contract situation. Like, let's say Salah had 2 or 3 years left, and
Salah
would probably be in that.
Oh Jesus, maybe not right now. Maybe clubs are going to maybe wait for a couple of more weeks until he gets back. Well, here, I'll tell you, when Salah returns from AFCON, he's going to really help the squad.
You're a big racist, anti-Muslim hater, Paddy. How dare you criticize Mohamed Salah? You're not allowed to. Did you not get the memo?
No, listen. When Salah comes back from AFCON, we're going to be flying.
I'm sick of this Salah shit, by the way, from everyone that feels like he is above reproach. I'm sorry, but we are very, very complimentary of Mo for all the right reasons, and will always be. But I will never bite my tongue if somebody's not delivering on the pitch. I'm sorry. 8 games without a goal in open play is just not good enough for a player of his ilk. And people are saying you wouldn't say this if it was Mane, and I fucking would, and have before, as has Paddy, as has Chris. So can everybody get off their soapbox and try and stop finding underlying connotations for critiques that are purely just based off of performance and nothing to do with anything else.
I think we all need to caveat, and I think people take it on face value and don't caveat it with the thousands and hundreds of positive comments that you have and we have said about X, Y, Z a player. Yeah. Look, I know what Paddy said about Diogo Jota today. Like, after some games, you've been saying how great Diogo Jota is. You know, you take the rough with the smooth with all of these footballers. We know that they're the best that we've had in generations, but like, in terms of the context of the situation, Mo Salah is underperforming, but that doesn't mean that Mo Salah is bad. Like, you have to understand it when we're saying this.
Yesterday, I said, even though I felt he didn't have his greatest performance, I said only Mohamed Salah in my eyes spots that assist for Mane. Because me, a layman, I looked at that and went, just slip it up to Jota, slip it up the line to Jota. But Mo that's why he's Mohamed Salah, and I'm sitting here, you know, trying to critique him, is because he's seen that. He's seen it ahead of us. So he always gets the credit. But let me put it this way. We spoke at the start of this video, Paddy, about being at the business end of the season, how grateful we should be as fans to enjoy it, to be here, to take in the moments. We also need our players to be at their sharpest, at their best, at their finest at this point of the season. So there are people who are saying that he's exhausted. I get it. I understand that he's mentally and physically exhausted, but it's also not our problem that he's mentally and physically exhausted from the point of view of what happened with Egypt. You know, I don't give a fuck what happens with Senegal, what happens with Egypt, what happens with England. I'm a Liverpool fan. That's where my focus is. And as much as we love Mo, since he's come back from the AFCON, he hasn't been himself. And if anybody tries to argue that point, I feel that they're being disingenuous, because he hasn't been.
No, not at all. And yesterday was one of his better performances in the last couple of weeks, and it was still subpar. He was okay. Like, the assist was lovely, but you know, and he did do okay. He took on Cancelo a couple of times. Listen, it is like, when someone's good, they're good. Yeah, we praise them, but equally then when someone's bad, they're bad, and we talk about it. Just because they have lots of good karma built up doesn't mean you can't talk about it. Salah is underperforming to a disgustingly low level at the moment. The Egypt stuff is really affecting him, you can imagine. But I do think it's the contract as well. And it's just unfortunate timing in the business end of the season. You know, I was hoping for a bit of Salah magic yesterday. I really thought that one that came off Laporte was destined for the bottom corner, and the scenes would have been biblical. If we had got a winner yesterday, Jesus Christ. The difference in emotion from me if we won yesterday, but we didn't win, so I'm going to stop crying about it. It is what it is. We move on. But yeah, I'm waiting for the game where he comes back to his best. But yeah, it's worrying. But I must say as well, though, even when he was banging them in, sometimes he could ghost for a whole game and do nothing and then score. So him not being involved in the game isn't new, but it's just he's not getting the goals either right now.
So let me just deal with this before I come to Chris for something. We do not deserve Salah, entitled fan base at its finest. It isn't, though. So it's Mohamed Salah did not deliver this club a Premier League title. He did not deliver this club a Champions League in the same way that nor did Jurgen Klopp, nor did Virgil van Dijk. The collective did it together. Mohamed Salah became the player he is because of his undoubting, relentless hard work and dedication, but also because of the coaching he's received, the footballing education he's received, the environment he's been given to flourish in. And I'm sorry, but that's too disrespectful to our club for my liking, to make it singularly about one man. He's fantastic. We love him, but it isn't about one man. Now, on the contract stuff, I have some sympathy, but I also say his agent caused a bigger headache publicly with the stuff around Fabrizio Romano and all that needed to be. And it's also fair, I believe, to say that during this time playing for the Egyptian national team, there's been some baggage towards the club from mouthy people from the Egyptian side speaking about Mohamed Salah, people advising him to move away from the club recently. I think the Egyptian sports minister has come out and said that he told Salah to move away from the club. So make no bones about this. I love Mo, but I love the football club more than anybody else. Anybody else that will ever play for the club, manage the club. Football club is numero uno priority. Players will come and go. We'll love them while they're here. But Mohamed Salah did not singularly win us jack shit. And anybody who thinks that way, you are very, very disrespectful to those other men, women, and coaches that have worked tirelessly to get us to this position. So I'm sorry, that's my take on it.
I agree, but I also understand. People see Salah's contribution. They think, oh, like we've loved players like, I don't know, to pull some out of the hat, like Djibril Cissé or Dirk Kuyt, who've produced like no sort of performances in comparison to Mo.
Can we pause? No, sorry, Craig. Can you bring up that comment about Thiago, please? That is the worst thing I've ever seen.
The P. Winnie one.
Yeah, read that. That is insane.
What's Thiago? He has zero vision. He kind of assisted one, but when Van Dijk passed him, hit it back 3 times. Football's not for you, mate.
I'm sorry, I had to. Thiago and no vision in the same sentence. What the fuck? That's a United fan.
I don't even. I think this is somebody who's dropped down from Planet Zog, and this is the first time in a football game.
It's got to be a troll, man. It's got to be a troll. Don't give these muppets a tantrum on they're idiots. But yeah, I understand why people think that we potentially are entitled. Is because we've loved players who've done a lot less than Mo Salah. In times that Liverpool have done a lot less. But I think you have to understand that and contextualize it. Mo Salah at his peak can influence games a lot more than he is now. And that is why we are frustrated with him, because Mo Salah has so much capability. He has levels above capability of the Dirk Kuyts of this world.
And by the way, we've also given him the platform. He signed for Chelsea. They didn't give him a platform to do this. They fucked him off. He went to Fiorentina and Roma. Did really well. But again, didn't have the platform that Liverpool as a club were able to give. So look, they're all important, vitally important cogs of a wheel. But ultimately, we've seen time and time again, individuals don't win anything for people. You need the collective good. And we're lucky to have that with Mo. We're lucky to have that with Sadio, with Bobby. Every single one of those guys that plays for Liverpool Football Club is, as we would say in Ireland, Paddy, is a good skin, is a good person, like a good human being, a good man. And I just find it massively disrespectful when people try and pit the achievements of one player against the rest of the club. It's a modern thing I don't like.
Absolutely. I know. I mean, you've been used to this for years, but obviously ever since going on the Anfield Agenda, like obviously because the content is more available for people to see, but it's just because you're saying something about someone, it's annoying. That's what annoys me. I don't know what people expect sometimes from people like us who make content around the club. We're not just going to not speak, and we have to discuss the negatives as well as the positives, no matter how overwhelmingly positive the situation is in general. If there's things that are going on that aren't right, they must be discussed. And no one.
And I think these people are a hindrance to our fan base, Paddy, because these particular group of people that are pro Mane, pro Salah, pro Firmino, whomever it is, they try to undermine our other players to protect the player that they love, which is understandable to a point. But you have to realize that we love the club. So this newfound thing of loving a player, whether it be because you're Egyptian and you love Mo, whether it be because you're Senegalese and you love Mane, ultimately they're here because they fit into our squad and they perform as a unit together and they are part of a collective good. That's what a team sport is all about.
Yeah, absolutely.
And I think as humans as well, humans naturally go towards the negative. I mean, you just have to look at like comments, for example. We're all if we see 10 comments, 9 of them are positive, 1 of them's negative, we're always going to go to the one negative. And I think we always try and solve problems rather than look at our own sort of our positives. So I think that's the reason why we have to discuss something, and that usually comes in the form of a problem, and we look at ways to solve it.
I'm going to be a bit arrogant here for once. Who do we think we're playing in the Champions League semi-final, lads?
Villarreal. I think the whole
Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich.
You know what? The betting part of me, Paddy, thinks that Bayern Munich will get through in extra time. That's the betting part of me thinks that.
I think Villarreal. I don't know. They're 1-0 up. I know they have the lead, but I just think like people are overestimating Bayern. Yes, Bayern spanked Salzburg, but like Villarreal are no jokers. They rested all 11 of their starting 11 at the weekend, every single player, which is something Barcelona done before they came to play us. But Emery is a European specialist, albeit it's been in the second tier competition. He still knows how to navigate these ties. And while it's changed a little bit with no away goals or whatever, I think I think they go to Bayern. They frustrate them. They frustrate the life out of them. Bayern. I think they win on penalties, Villarreal.
You know what? Look, Chris, whoever it might be, we're in the semi-final. I'm sorry, we are. We're in the semi-final. But whomever we get, I'm not expecting an easy game, whether it be Villarreal or Bayern Munich. But I will caveat that by saying I still expect us to end up in Paris.
I'm booking Paris this week.
Absolutely. Sadly, it's my uncle's wedding, the fraud. So I'm gonna have to.
Fraud.
I'm gonna have to sort of like watch it cheekily during the ceremony.
You should preach to him, Chris. Did you ever think of getting married on the Channel Tunnel? I mean, that'd be a great experience, wouldn't it? Oh, today, does it?
Can I be your ticket, Chris?
That sounds amazing, but no, it's going to be Bayern Munich for me. I just think they'll have too much of Villarreal at the Allianz with the fans behind them. But I just think we'll dispose of them defensively. They are fragile. I think we can get at them, especially Mo and Mo Sadio in Europe are different gravy. As we saw with those stats in the knockout rounds, only Ronaldo scored more than the two of them. So yeah, I'm very, very confident we're in Paris. I'm almost going to say now we are going to be in that final.
Now, we've spoken about enjoying moments and being involved in it. The one thing in this earth I cannot cope with is the potential of losing the City in the final of the European Cup. Anything else, I think I can take on the chin and move on, but that's the only thing, Paddy, I can't let myself think about. I'm praying for an Atletico masterclass or Madrid, the other Madrid, if they get past Chelsea, to knock Pep out. I don't care we play in the final. I just don't want it to be City.
Well, Craig, I have some good news for you. I have been to the future, and Diego football terrorist Simeone nicks an early goal against City and holds on to extra time and wins on penalties, and City are out of the Champions League.
Oh God, that'd be amazing.
I do think they can. They definitely can.
With a 1-goal deficit, 100%.
The idea of playing City again, like, why the fuck do we have to play City again next weekend? And then we could play them again. I fucking hate playing them. Why do you have to exist now? Why has the timeline matched up so we have to play you all the time to win anything? Like, Klopp would have had a Ferguson-esque trophy captain if it wasn't for that bald Spanish fraud.
But we need a dance partner. Every good boxer needed a good opponent. Every good team needs the other side. Do you know what has shocked me though? Really, it shocked me is how hated we are as a fan base. I never thought we were that hated as a fan base. It's shocked me. It really has.
Always hated. But I was just thinking, by the way, we've only ever lost one game to City that's meant anything. Any game that was decisive that meant anything, we've only lost once. Carabao Cup final.
No matter what way you split this up,
2-1 in the league
are so closely matched.
Which one in the league was that?
The 2-1 in 2019, that technically lost us the league.
The
only game we lost that season, by the way.
Isn't
that a joke, by the way? We lost one game in the season and we said, fuck off, man.
I know, it's ridiculous. And like, we could end up losing the title this season again if we did with 90-something points. Which would be the second highest ever after our other points tally, which we didn't win the title with.
Honestly.
I've always preferred the treble anyway. Premier League, let's treble.
It's still on, Paddy. It's still on.
It is still on. Absolutely. And look, if there's one game I'm happy to give up to City, if I had to pick one, it's this fucking game on Saturday. I want to win it, but if that's
the one, we've already drawn one. We've got to win it now. We've got to win them.
We have to win that one. We've already given up one. We've given up the league game. We've lost. That's basically a loss. Let's be honest.
Well, it's not.
That's a win for City.
1 point, man. 1 point.
I know.
We're 1 point behind, not 4. We're 1 point, not 4. They only have to drop points once for us to get ahead of them.
Look at their. I just can't see it in their fixtures. I'm sorry. And you know me usually, but I just
Man City against Southampton and Crystal Palace. They can draw
their teeth now. They have the bit between their teeth now.
They're not the same team as they were.
I don't think they have the same balls as our team. I think they've got more
balls in the first few minutes. We got absolutely bent over.
Yes, look, I can't argue that we didn't start the game well.
We still didn't lose. We still didn't lose when we played that badly.
It's basically a loss, Chris.
It's not a loss, though.
It is basically a loss.
If we lose that game, it's done. If we lose that game, it's done. But we've only got one game.
Okay, it's a minor loss, but it could have been a bigger loss.
It could have been a big fat
It's
L.
also a
It's
minor
big-
win.
A draw
It's
is not a good result at all. Not at all.
I'd have shaken your hand on it before the game.
So would I.
Yeah, that's because I was shitting myself, and I was right to. It's not a good result. A draw is not a good result. We had the chance to.
It's not a bad
to
result,
have-
though, is it?
We had the chance to put one hand on the league title, and we bottled it. We bottled it.
But is it a bad result, Paddy?
Yes,
No, it's not.
yes, it is.
No, it's not.
Paddy
I
looks
don't-
like he's got a crippling gambling addiction.
I don't know.
What does that even mean?
I don't get how we can bottle it. We came from behind twice at their gaff to get a point.
Yes, because we bottled it.
Against the best team in Europe, the best team in the last 5 years. And we played badly and we still didn't lose in either game.
We should be the best. That should be us. We are definitely
Why?
we are good enough. Should have been good enough. It was the wrong team selection. Klopp bottled this team selection. I'm sorry. We act
We
like
all
Klopp's
know.
infallible. I love him. He's 99% bang on, but his team was wrong yesterday. Simple as.
If we win the game, it's a brilliant team selection though. We nearly did. We could have done.
No, we didn't.
Like-
We not once did we nearly win that game. We never looked
We were
like we won that
we were
game.
2-2. Jota was through on goal.
Yeah, I think that 10-minute period after we scored the second was probably
Usually, right?
our
When
best.
we're playing a
period.
game, usually during the game, I can like feel the winner coming. That game never felt like it. I was watching. It was depressing watching it. I knew it wasn't going to come.
We drew 2-2.
And if Jota
against
could play
Man City
football, he
away.
probably would have finished that chance that he was through and goal.
Man
for.
City, when they scored first in their last 22 matches, had won every single one. Yesterday, they didn't. Against Liverpool. This Liverpool team, who apparently played a shocking game. I'm
In
sorry,
the
it's not a bad
context-
result.
In the context of the league, that draw result is a loss. It feels like a loss anyway. It's a
I would
loss.
say, in the context of the league, that Raheem Sterling offside is more important. For me, that was
That's
the
difference
better
between-
jail card we needed for me.
But the Mahrez one. Like if they had a one, of course, it's completely.
Yeah, but
finished.
Mahrez has
He
form
wouldn't care.
against us for shit in the bed. He loves it. He loves shit in the bed against
He only
us.
scores when they're 3-0 up. The fraud. True. He's
True.
To be fair though, I look back in the clip. Apparently, it took a clip off Matip, that shot. Even though it was still
Yeah.
just a mile over.
I mean, can we just take a second to just admire Sadio's finish for his goal? Because he made that look
Incredible.
so easy. Well done, Sadio. Happy birthday and a great finish.
And I think as well, defensively, he was outstanding yesterday. The way he trapped back and covered with Robertson, the way that but in fact, him and Mo defensively, I thought they were absolutely excellent and haven't really got enough credit from either. I saw LFC Laurie say that Mane should be really disappointed about how he played, and I was like, he was my man of the match yesterday for us. I thought he was excellent, and that
He
shows
was
how
voted
much he's
for
still got.
by
to
our
offer.
audience as our man of the match as well in the poll. With I think twice as many votes as anybody else, and I think that was our biggest ever voted on man of the match poll as well. I think we had about 1,600 votes on it.
Yeah, that's how it is. I just think how.
I tell you what, I'd hate to be in a dressing room with anyone with that attitude for the last 7 games. I'd punch the shit out of them if I had to listen to that. Honestly, you're in a dressing room with 7 games to go and you've got a defeatist attitude. That's not the way to win things, man. It's not the way to win it.
The bottling
Gotta
thing.
keep going.
Yeah,
Gotta keep going.
We did bottle it though. I don't get what. Of
We
course
didn't
we
bottle it. Surely they bottled it. If we played so badly, then surely they bottled it.
No, right. Just don't think about the context of what happened in the game. We had a chance to put one hand on the Premier League trophy, knowing full well we're good enough to do it, and we bottled it.
we didn't
draw
ever-
that's
Didn't
just
they
settling
didn't
for
they
shit.
bottle it though? They had a
That's
chance to
settling
put
for
one hand on the
mediocrity.
Premier League trophy.
We're not the team that have thrown away 14-point lead here.
Well, listen, it wasn't really 14 points. Let's call a spade a spade.
Even
Right,
if it's
okay.
8 points, we're still after clawing them back to that. And
No, I'm not saying we should give up. It's still on. But yesterday we bottled it.
I don't
Objectively,
understand how we bottled it. If they had won, they'd have had one hand on the Premier League. So surely they bottled it as well.
The performance was
they're
embarrassing.
the one who were ahead twice but couldn't keep the lead. So
But
Chris
Paddy-
said if anyone bottled it yesterday, I think it's City. And even
Because
at that, I
surely-
think that's very harsh to say they bottled it yesterday. I
If-
think we just seen 2 of the best teams that we'll have seen in very, very many a year. Maybe one of them wasn't at the peak of their power. Maybe one of them played a bit better than the other. But ultimately, I think it's probably the most interesting result to keep the title race going.
It's the narrative builder,
Right,
isn't it?
listen. No, fair. All right, I'm getting torn in the comments. Right, fair enough. No, do you know what? No, let me. I love drawing to City. That was great that we're still behind. Happy fucking days. Jordan Henderson is the best player to ever play in the fucking game of football. I love it. That was the
If you're
greatest
talking
team
about
ever.
bottling against City, I would argue that the home game was probably the one we should have won.
But even then, they should have won that game. They should have won that game in that game as well, in my opinion. I think who was it? Foden who missed a really, really top chance to make it 3-1 in the first half, or just early in the second half. Or no, 3-2. Sorry,
I can't remember. Chris.
Goal as well. Lucky pricks. Deflected goal. They scored a deflected goal at Anfield and the Etihad. Absolute fraudulence. I hate it. We never get to rub the green in this fucking league. Never. We always get shit on in these big. There's always something. The Sterling offside in 2015, the John Stones millimeters. There's always something in the Premier League with Liverpool. We never get to rub the green. Whereas in the Champions League, we do. It's just some sort of hoodoo bullshit that's been written by the football script writers.
It's some type of earth karma, isn't it? Where like we want, well, the one thing that we have had recently enough, but not in the circumstances we would have liked. And City want that one thing that we have many of, and they haven't been able to achieve yet. It is some weird fucking fucked up parallel universe stuff, isn't it?
It is. It's truly that. It's I think they trade the next 5 Premier League titles for 1 Champions League. Like that's all they care about, and that's all Pep Guardiola cares about now. Is winning.
What we're speaking about clubs that are pumped up Wiggins. I said to you guys before the game that there's been a report put out today that apparently the Qatari owners of Paris Saint-Germain are considering flogging the club after the World Cup, which if they do, I would say would only add more to our narrative that it's a PR exercise, and maybe this was the long game. Maybe this was the outright goal for the Qatari royal family to get the World Cup, to show off the country in a positive light. And or another thing I was thinking about on this could be that they're trying to put the ultras in their place. You know, the very outspoken PSG fans who, and look, I actually agree with the PSG fans about what they were saying. There's too much prima donna action going on there. So interesting to see what happens with it. But that's always the worry, Chris, isn't it? That, you know, any of these sugar daddies can just pull the plug.
They can. And look, this is exactly what they've become. It's a fashion brand nowadays. They've signed up with Jordan. They've got their money. They're a brand more than a club.
As nowadays. You're wearing the PSG top.
Exactly. And that's why it's so ironic. Like, this is an absolute stunner of a shirt, right? But it doesn't mean I like PSG. They're grim. But yeah, I think it would serve them right in one way, but it wouldn't in another, because they've had this inflated expectations built up. I mean, I just feel sorry for the real fans there, because there is some.
And neither set of these sugar daddy owners that we're speaking about, City and PSG, neither of them have got the crown jewel they want. Neither of them have been able to get their hands on old big ears, and that lets me sleep at night, I'll be honest. And there's something else I read. One of the contenders to take over Valencia believes that Roman Abramovich is going to go and buy Valencia after he sells Chelsea. Now, I don't know how true that is or not, but that would be interesting.
Would be.
Yeah, I mean, by the way, if PSG actually, or if the Qataris actually sell up PSG, I'm starting to sweat, because if there's a club in the world that is begging to be bought by a country, it's Man United. And if Man United get the Qataris on side, we're fucked. If they're bankrolled by the Qataris, they will be back. Not quite to the Fergie days, because Fergie was able to dominate because it was such a subpar league. But yeah, hopefully the Qataris stay well clear of Man United. I
just forgot to add, stay hydrated.
Oh no, exactly. Much love, James freaking Milner. But yeah, Abramovich, I'd be surprised if Abramovich's arse getting back into football. Like, I feel that's very strange. I wouldn't. Valencia's a good shout though. Massive club in Spain, a bit of a sleeping giant, but to take on the might of Real and Barca is a big feat.
Nice spot to park the yacht as well, Paddy. Nice marina.
Smart. Maybe that's why. I wouldn't be surprised if he can't buy Monaco. They're owned by the royal family or something, aren't they? Yeah.
I have no idea. Does Prince Albert of Monaco own
Yeah,
idea.
Or is he
or
president?
some
I'm not
royal
sure,
family
to
or
be
some
honest.
shit. Yeah, corruption.
While we're speaking about Monaco really quickly, anyone believe that Tchouaméni will end up at Liverpool, or do we think it's just paper talk? Because I'm genuinely intrigued. Because for me, part of me likes the idea of it, but another part of me thinks that it would absolutely put an end to the Bellingham stuff, and I don't want that to happen. So I'm selfishly kind of just going, oh, maybe it's not true.
Choo. Look, any chance he gets a
Tchouaméni or
Jude
chew a
Bellingham?
few, Chris? Tchouaméni or chew a few?
Exactly. Chew. Isn't that the off The Simpsons? I choose you.
Yeah, it was
Which one you gonna-
Ralph Valentine.
No, not
card.
chew you. Choose, you fucking idiot.
That's what I said. That's what I said.
No, you said chew.
No, I said choose.
Oh, sorry, my apologies.
Yeah. Screw you.
Sorry, Chris. I'm
It's the
just
Wi-Fi,
agitated. I'm fucking agitated. I'm sorry. I'm on the fucking edge of me. Sorry.
Let's get both of them, Craig.
Fuck
Why
you,
not?
Man City, and fuck you, Guardiola.
Oh,
Leave me
Chris,
alone.
don't do that to me. Can you imagine? Imagine replacing, let's say, Milner and Henderson in 1 to 2 years with Tchouaméni and Bellingham.
We are replacing Milner in the summer with Henderson, hopefully.
I don't think it's out of the question. Like, with Henderson and with Oxlade-Chamberlain probably leaving and Milner, why can't Henderson take up that role and then Curtis Jones get the minutes that Milner had? Sorted.
I just want Bellingham, lads. That's it. I just want Bellingham. That's all I
The
want.
only thing on is Bellingham.
I don't care. Anything. I'll take him for the team if needs be.
No,
Whatever needs to be done, I'll do it. I'll
Literally
deliver.
take one.
We must stop Bellingham going to another Premier League club at all costs.
I know. I can't.
100 million, pay it.
He just carries himself.
George.
Like he should be a Liverpool player, lad. Shouldn't he?
Please tell me George is being sarcastic in that comment.
I think he's thrown out a bit of bait for you, Paddy.
Yeah,
Don't
all right.
nibble on
Okay, fair enough. I'm not biting on that.
it.
Jesus
Paddy's
Christ,
broken.
That's the worst thing I've ever seen.
Paddy's broken inside. It's all.
I haven't been right since the game yesterday, and I don't know why. I haven't been right.
Paddy is rattled by Pep's tricky city.
I'm stressed. You know what I mean? I suppose it's my fault when you make these outlandish statements on Twitter and spend the day getting death threats and being told you should have been part of the 96. You kind of want to get the win to tell them to fuck off.
Yeah, man. I genuinely, like, all joking aside, I feel for the shit you've gone through on Twitter. It's disgusting.
No, I laugh at it. No, it's fine. I can handle it. I just feel sorry for people. It's just Twitter is a cesspool. I'm aware of that now. Maybe I like getting debates on TikTok, but Twitter. I was like reading some of the doubts. I was going, okay, they were getting increasingly worse. Someone told me they should bomb Ireland again because of me. So
you'll see all the links made together of the same groups in different guises coming together to do. It's the same people over and over again. The defenders of the good fight, their virtue. But you know what the funny thing is, mate? They'll all be on there when one of their friends has a mental health issue or somebody passes away, and they'll put out all the platitudes that they don't actually stand over and deliver. So, yeah, just as I said to you privately, just keep knocking out the content, and the best way to reply to them is with a deal or a new gaff or a big fuck you to them, and know that they're still irrelevant and living in the little cesspit.
Don't even give them any response. They're
Amen,
all just,
sir.
like, small, annoying little rats who don't deserve any attention whatsoever. Like, get so many of them. Just
here's the funny thing: one of them retweeted Chris after slagging off you and Anfield Agenda, Paddy, not realizing that Chris was part of Anfield Agenda. That's how dumb these fuckers are.
Really?
Yeah, did you see it? So
Connor told me about it. I don't see these things, but Connor let me know about it.
Yeah, fucking. But it's not, to be fair though.
Anfield Agenda in my bio.
It's across all clubs. Like the real hardcore fans, they hate the online fans. Like, just why? Like, we can't, you know what I mean? We can't all be like Stone Island wearing gear taking fucking lads. Oh, I fucking love my club.
I spend all home and away. Fucking kids are in bin bags. Fucking beans on. Not my fault, mate, that you're living beyond your fucking means. It's not my fault. It's not having to go with me because you put yourself into. That's like me saying I'm after going out there and buying a fucking 7-litre car that cost me $2,000 a fucking year to tax it. And the poor kids are, just buy a smaller car, you prick. Shut the fuck up. So we go to the game. Fuck me.
People try and gatekeep football supporting. It's so weird.
Yeah.
I don't know if you guys have seen the Monty Python sketch, the Four Yorkshiremen, where it's all about like saying how bad it was in their day and how and just one-upmanship and thinking that you're better than someone else just because you do something else. Like if you're from Liverpool, great, you're a Liverpool fan. Like doesn't mean you're more of a Liverpool fan than Craig is or I am. Like if you're from even if you're from India or Australia, you have to get up at 3 a.m. Yeah, cool. That is tough shit. Liverpool play at that time. We are all in this family together, and at the end of the day, it doesn't make you better or worse than anyone else because of what you do.
Exactly. And do you know what the worst part about the abuse is? And by the way, I literally do laugh at it. I don't care. Because I can handle it. I'm used to it.
I won't lie, mate. It gets to me. It hurts me. It gets to me. It makes me question my own self-worth.
Yeah, and it's horrible. And I mean, you got it at a lot. Like it did get to me, but like I muted it after a while. Also, dear D Pierce, thank you. But a high percentage of the people giving me abuse were fellow Liverpool fans, and I was like, why are you so like that? Like,
because you're relevant. That's why they hate you.
Like that,
because you're relevant, and their wisdom that they impart upon us every single day isn't getting the attention that you're. Because you've managed to make yourself and maneuver yourself into a position, mate, where your opinion is relevant to a lot of people, and they hate that because theirs isn't. That's all it's about. If you were and you did the same video, nobody would say a goddamn thing about it, mate. It's just because you're relevant and they aren't, and that eats them alive at night.
Well, listen, it is what it is. We can't all please everyone.
I can. I'm fucking brilliant.
Yeah. By the way, Chris, I do remember that sketch now. I remember it. I actually acted that out before. It's great.
Delete.
Yeah. So where are we going to go now, lads? We've got 10 minutes to go. Loads of stuff that we can speak about with regards to the Champions League, the game against City, transfers. There was something else actually I wanted to bring up. Oh yeah, Paddy, must have been a good day in the Murphy house with your bro beating United on Saturday, getting that 3 points in the bank for the Evertonians.
Yeah, well, thank fuck he doesn't live here anymore. But yeah, absolutely. Yeah, great result for them. Very United as well. It's fucking gas.
How bad were United, by the way? They were. That is the worst performance I think I've ever seen.
What got me, Chris, was that of course Maguire was involved with a deflection off his big fucking back. Of course Harold had to have a little say in that. I love that.
They were just. I don't think I tweeted it's like it's the worst United team I've ever seen playing against losing to the worst Everton team I've ever seen, because Everton were not good. Everton were crap, but they still managed to beat United. And then Ronaldo went and smashed some kid's phone.
Yeah, I think somebody needs to tell Cristiano McMoran that an outburst isn't slapping a child. An outburst is what me and Paddy have done on this stream, is coming out with words and, venting. An outburst isn't assaulting a child and slapping a phone out of his hand, you fucking arrogant little prick. And why would you invite an Everton fan to a United game? He's not covered enough.
I was going to say, that was the worst part about it. Like, I was like, unless, without saying, he had a phone and a couple of grand ready to give the kid, inviting him to Old Trafford as an apology is so egotistical.
I know it's great around this. Little Cristiano has to have a straightener with the kid. That's the only fair way to resolve this.
Hasn't the poor kid suffered enough? Like, why are you sending him to Old Trafford?
I'm joking about that, clearly.
Obviously, the poor kid suffered enough. You don't want to make him watch a Man United game. Jesus.
Can you imagine if that was the other way around? If Ronaldo was doing an interview and some lad jumped out of the crowd and pushed Ronaldo over and threw the mic on the ground, you ended up in the nick that night. You're getting arrested and banned from that stadium.
Speaking of that, in an interview, a reporter tried to get Ronaldo to say something before, and he took his mic and fucked it in the water. So he's always breaking shit. He's a petulant little child.
Yeah, I can't argue with it. I like. Yes, it's a tough time for United players, but I don't for one second believe that Ronaldo gives a fuck about anything but Cristiano Ronaldo. I don't think he cares about his teams. I don't care. Maybe for the Portuguese national team because it's his nationality. I'm sure he probably has feeling there, but the rest of it, it's Cristiano Ronaldo FC. And if everything isn't going his way, he never takes responsibility, never looks at himself. He always just wants to say, I'm not receiving the teammates that I should have. I'm not receiving the balls where they should be given. You're not playing, mate, because you're a pain in the arse to your teammates at this moment in time. And I hope he does get proper repercussions for that incident yesterday, because that kid was doing nothing. He wasn't up in his face with the phone, nothing. just being a petulant little spoiled brat.
Now, listen, to be fair, I agree with what you're saying, and like I know it wasn't a nice scene, but I also didn't like a bit. The witch hunt is a bit annoying as well. I was like, listen, let him give the kid a new phone, give him a couple of grand, and let that be that. Like, people looking for punishment. I don't agree with that. I don't think. Just let him buy him a new phone and apologize, get him a selfie, and then that'll be that. You know what I mean? But to be fair, it wouldn't. Actually, no, I'm not going to say that.
I want to just reply to this from Philip. Thank you, Philip, for the super chat, by the way. And again to Dean as well. Thank you, Dean. City win their fourth title in 5 years. Does it worry that Liverpool have fallen behind City? Yes, but I think context is important. We're falling behind City because we haven't got unlimited resources, not because we aren't doing our jobs as good as City are. I think it's important we give context to it. It's not a level playing field here financially. If there was, I think Liverpool have proven that they are right up there with the smartest operators in the transfer market and with regards to the talent that they bring to the club and the coaches they have. So it worries me, but it only worries me because City are a pest rather than I think we're doing that wrong. Does that make sense, Chris?
I think that makes perfect sense. Yeah, City have got a 5-yard advantage in a 100-meter race already. So the fact that we are sort of only a meter behind, even though we are behind, is still an achievement in itself.
Yeah, I think so. What about you, Paddy? How do you feel about it?
What? Feel about what?
If City win the title, about us languishing behind them with their 4 league titles in 5 years.
But that's the thing, though. Like, I think we've already fallen behind them because they've won more leagues than us. In terms of, what I mean by that is like in 20, 50 years' time, when we look back at this period, great rivalry, but the history will show that Man City would have dominated the league titles. This is why this year it's an imperative one. But to be honest with you, like when push comes to shove, it's not Man City's title number I give a shit about. It's Liverpool's title number I care about. And if Jurgen Klopp leaves Liverpool with only one Premier League title, it will be an absolute crying shame. It really will be. And that sounds ungrateful because fuck me, like he was the man to finally end the curse, get us back there. But from what we've seen, to have only won one with the team we've had would have been an opportunity missed. And yes, we are competing against a freak of nature, and they're a great rival. We're a great rival for them as well. But yeah, the points total that they say, they have one more than us, 300 and whatever. The only total that matters is the Premier League trophies won in that time, and they would have had the edge the majority of the time.
And I don't think the word fallen behind is right. I would say Man City started ahead. Liverpool are still catching up. The only time we were really ahead of them was for one season, but they had the restart, then we fell behind again. Like Man City started ahead of Liverpool. Liverpool were, maybe had a nose ahead of them, but overall they were always going to have that advantage. They always will do because of their unlimited resources.
Yeah, I think I get Paddy's frustration because I feel it as well. I feel like, what if they weren't around? But then I wonder, would FSG or any owners for that, I don't want to have this as a dig at FSG, but would any of our owners have needed to maybe push as far as we've had to with what we have at the minute? If we were like, would we have signed Diaz if we were 10 points clear at the top of the league? Would we still be trying to do what we're doing as well as we're doing? I think there is something to the two teams pushing each other. There has to be something to that. I think they've made us be leaner and smarter, and we've probably made City fight harder than they expected to. Look, I have great respect for the two squads and the managers, and the fans. But after that, that's where my respect stops for City.
Yeah, I think the envision was to make it like Ligue 1, where they have one domineering outfit, whereas Liverpool have made it a lot more difficult for Manchester City. Look, hopefully we go and win more Premier League titles, but at the end of the day, they will always have that 5-yard advantage.
Yeah, if we were to look back at Klopp, and like hopefully he moves on in 2024, but if we were to look back at his 9 years then at the club, and there's been a Premier League title delivered, a Champions League delivered, a League Cup delivered, a Club World Cup delivered, a Super Cup delivered, and I would say one more big trophy still to come minimum. How would we view that in the context of our recent history? Because look, we weren't around in the 60s, 70s for a lot of those huge defining moments for Shankly, Paisley, Fagan. I wasn't around for any of that. But I know that are now in a place that I would have killed for 15 years ago.
You'd have killed for it 5 years ago, Craig. I'd
Probably
even
would.
say that.
Probably would, yeah. I mean, when we were losing to Sevilla in the Europa League final, when we were celebrating the win against Dortmund as if, because to us at that moment it meant everything, as if it was a Champions League final. I don't want us to become desensitized to how lucky we are at this moment.
Yeah, absolutely. I think if he leaves even if he left now, it would be viewed as an overwhelming success. And I just think we have to take it in the context of who we're playing against and the battles that we are facing and the fact that we have come out with the success that we have. And I still think there's more to come. I think this team is now at the best point it ever has been. And there's still more building to do in the summer. So yeah, I think they'll succeed even more, and we'll still view it as just an absolute masterstroke of an appointment.
Yeah, I mean, the fact that we've got to have this big, mad, crazy, lovable German in charge, amazing.
Yeah, listen, I echo everything you're saying, but whatever about when we look back on Klopp and blah, 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 I'll say one thing. If we end this season without one of the big two, it's going to be a real kick in the balls. It's going to be really, really, really tough to take. And even if we do win an FA Cup, the FA Cup is only the FA Cup and the League Cup are only relevant to me if they're a part of a treble or a quadruple or a bigger double. If we don't win one of the big two, it's going to really hurt. And I don't know how you feel about that, but yeah, after the emotions we felt, I know some of us have been more exuberant than others with the quad shouts, of course, blah blah blah. But to not get one of the big two at the end of the season will hurt, and that just means like we might get both. We might get. There's no guarantee.
Look at the year we lost to City by a point. So I'll never forget that week because I was over in Liverpool for the last day of the season when, we didn't win it. Before that, I remember the City goal, the company goal against Leicester. But little did I know that a few days later, we would have the Barcelona game that would change the entire outlook of the season. And then we would have that final against Spurs. So, football can be a mad world where things change very quickly. And I get where Paddy's coming from, and I agree. We want to be capitalising on one of the big two at this point in the season. But, make no bones about it, the lads will want that in that dressing room as well. There's no better thing to drive you on than having tasted the bitterness of second place and defeat and losing the European Cup final. And one thing we know about this group and our manager is they've always responded from a setback. And I think they'll get over the line in one of the two.
I'm fully on board. I still think we're favourites for the Champions League, apart from maybe City, because they, of course, have that advantage.
Fuck off!
So we all agree that if City don't make the final, we're winning the Champions League. Because that's kind of where I am. After that, it's a 50-50 toss-up.
Between us and Real Madrid. I think it goes City, then us and Real Madrid on a level playing field. I mean, I think a game between...
If you lose to Real Madrid, it's going to be tough to take. But if you lose to City... Oh, fuck, man, no. I used to where I joined Team Paddy. If I can't comprehend that, losing to City in that game. I can't.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'm more confident against City in the final than 2 legs. No, do you know what? In the Champions League, I'm confident against City. In the FA Cup, I'm not confident. But in the Champions League, that's our competition, and I am confident purely because we have one thing called midfield, and we have this. They don't have this. You'll never get this. La la la. But yeah, fuck City. I'm actually sick of them. Can we stop? I can't even stop because we have them in the FA Cup, and if we want them in the Champions League, we're not having them again because they won't fuck off.
Just think though, Paddy, we could be speaking towards the end of the week, and Atleti could have pulled a masterclass out.
Yeah, but I'm not exactly excited to play them either. But yeah, no, I know.
We could go the whole season unbeaten against Man City. Just saying.
Unbeaten, yeah.
We could beat them, and then if we beat them in the FA Cup, and then if we have to play them in the Champions League, we'll still beat them. I'll back it.
I just can't get over how despicable that 90 minutes was yesterday. I hated every second of it.
So
I nearly passed out at Jota's goal because I went so mental. I genuinely thought I was going to have a heart attack. Genuinely thought I was going to burst a brain vessel or something. I swear to God. But I can't handle the thought of playing City again. That was horrific.
But I did enjoy watching it back last night. knowing the result, but more so being able to take in what was happening and the intricacies of the game. I appreciated it for the high level game it was after the fact.
Yeah, absolutely. That's usually the thing with these two games.
Yeah, it was tough. Look, gents, we shall leave it there. Mr. Paddy Murphy, sir, you are heading over to Anfield for the Beenfica massacre, which I think rolls off the tongue nicely. Enjoy yourself, my man. I hope you're looking forward to it. I believe you said this was your first taste of the champions.
Yeah, third game of the season, but it's the first Champions League night I'll experience. It's not exactly the most glamorous considering the tie is probably dead, but I'm going to enjoy every second. Hopefully all them really hardcore Liverpool fans giving me death throats will meet me at Anfield because I'll buy them a cup of coffee.
They'll be the one asking for a photo, Paddy. That'll be them.
Oh, it's great. I'm purposely going to do a dance at Anfield again and just to attract them. That'll be my Batman call. I'm going to do a dance right at the front.
And a bit of good news for everybody as well, Paddy. We're playing United next Tuesday, and we're going to do a watch along together. You're going to come down to my gaff with Mr. Crosby, and we're going to do a live watch along together. Because if there's one game we really both want to be together to rub salt into, mate, it's this one. It's this game against United.
Yeah, absolutely. Our agents have been in contact. We've signed the deal. Rami Ibas is my agent, so he's brokered a 10 million bonus for me to come down to Craig's.
Michael O'Leary's mine.
Oh, very good, very good.
Yeah, no, charge you for charging your phone in the house, $250.
I'm just thinking of the clips we're going to get for the United watch along. It's going to be biblical, and I can't wait.
Yeah, I can't wait as well. And I'm recording with Goldbridge on Sunday. Ahead of that, we're going to record a preview to put out on the Monday. Mr. Stonadge, you're away for a few days. We will see you for the Beenfica game, but after that, you're away on a little mini break.
Little mini break, yeah, and then next week I'm at both United and the Everton game within a few days.
I'm at Everton too. I'll see you there.
Paddy's at Everton. We'll meet up and do a match reaction or something.
Close the channel down now, folks. After that one, do you know?
Yeah.
Didn't even know you were going to that one.
Oh yeah, no, did you know? I definitely said that. No, close the channel.
I'm going to both.
Steve, Kyle, guys. Hello?
I just have to get a Paddy Murphy mask and put it on and just dance.
I bet you could buy. Surely you could buy a Paddy Murphy mask from somewhere.
I don't think not quite.
Not quite
at that level.
Yeah. Anyway, you're at both of the games, Chris. That's going to be fun.
That is going to be fun. It's also going to be not great for my liver, but yeah, it's going to be.
You're going to get to see at least 8-9 goals scored by Liverpool over the course of the two.
I've honestly never been more confident of two derby games ever. I think we'll annihilate both of them by at least 3 each.
Nice. Right, we shall say our goodbyes. Thank you to our sponsor, Surfshark. We'll talk to you guys. I will be live on Twitch tomorrow for the Villarreal game, and then I will be somewhere at some point, 6 o'clock tomorrow, I think, on YouTube, I think. I can't remember. I'm just...
Main stand.
I don't know. Paddy's broken me.
I was just laughing at Paddy what he was doing with his lip. He was like,
oh, I'm just laughing at Craig's reaction.
Bye, everybody. See you soon. Bye bye.
Au revoir.